Good day, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast. If life is a little bit rough and rowdy on your side, consider this one a safe refuge for your peace of mind, where I will bring up short, simple, and light-hearted stories about the nooks and crannies of our daily life. Now, if this podcast made your day even just a little, I'll be grateful if you could give it some love and share it to others. Make yourself comfortable now. For today's story, I believe many of you could relate to. No matter who we are or where we're at in our lives, there's always some things that we have to confront ourselves with in your younger times. For me, it was my height. Now, the average height of 4 Vietnamese guys is around 1.68 meters on paper, but pretty much every friend I see is rocking over 1.7 meters tall. And that placed me on the shorter end of the spectrum, just a teeny tiny bit below that paper average. I know my genetics can only take me so far. My mom and dad weren't exactly on the taller side of parents, and I just got the early ride when it comes to puberty. That means when my growth is relatively done for, my friends just won't stop growing taller. I know this isn't the space race or anything, but every time I got asked, "Hey, why aren't you speeding up?" it just kinda hit me. And it seems that I was destined to look up to people for the rest of my life, figuratively and quite literally. Being short is like living life on extra difficulty. It's a living nightmare trying to find the right clothing and shoes, and basketball was becoming more and more out of reach. And plus all the peer pressure from every other friend who used to be shorter than me, having now grown into absolute giants. And every time I look into the mirror, I always wish that I was a few centimeters taller. I really used to think that my height was sort of a handicap, one that I didn't ask for. I didn't really have a good outlook on my height, and I would think others shared the same idea as well, which makes me feel even more self-conscious about it. But over time, I just came to stop pressuring myself about being vertically challenged. The end of high school was near, and with it came a humongous number of things to worry about instead. Deadlines, graduation exams, scholarship applications, the whole shebang, and guess what? My height has nothing to do with it. So it becomes less and less of an issue over time. And it just occurred to me that being tall might be an advantage, but no one's gonna measure my success and worthiness by putting me next to a ruler. But if there's ever a ruler like that, my value would not be measured by feet, but by the contents of my own character. In retrospect, being a tad shorter than average can be quite cool if you manage to look on the brighter side of things. Yes, I may not look as big and intimidating as my giant peers, but that can be handled with working out. And I just happened to notice that gaining a few kilos of muscle mass looks way more pronounced and leaner on a shorter guy than a taller dude. And that puts a smile on my face and just encouraged me to work hard every day. So that's a plus for me. And yeah, from my point of view, every taller guy in basketball looks like the final bosses of Elden Ring or Dark Souls, but that just makes every effort to outsmart and outmaneuver them ever the more rewarding as I learn to use fakes and better techniques. And everything feels a tad bigger than usual. I could fit in almost every bed, armchair, sofa or beanbag out there, while my pity goes to my Slenderman friends struggling to chuck themselves in. To my short peers out there, I know that being modest in stature can sometimes be a formidable challenge to our self-esteem and opportunities. But no matter how we think about it, or worry about it, we don't really have a say in what card nature deals to us. Height may not be the best card that you got dealt today, but that means your ace and trump cards are still out there, waiting to be drawn upon. Maybe there's a hobby you want to try out, maybe there's a passion you want to pursue, or a talent perhaps that you want to nourish. I know it's easier said than done, but it diverts your thoughts towards more positive and productive goals, and more importantly, it's all upon you to decide. I hope after you listen to my story, you have a different look on how you measure your own self-worth. If the next time you look into the mirror and wish you could be any different, just remember how happy things can go just by changing the way you look at them. I understand that being short makes certain things seem out of hand, and every one of us wants to be a little bit different when we look into the mirror. But let's remind ourselves that if we truly cherish our own and strive for the better every day, you might find yourself reaching much higher than the reach of your own hands. Thank you.